Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got your rundown for this week's Monday Night Raw. The go-home, they're off now to Down Under. They're off to Australia, where, of course, this weekend we've got Crown Jewel Perth. And that show is, are there 5 matches now? Is it filled out?
Yeah,
now?
5 now, yeah. Maybe they'll have another one to SmackDown. I don't know, but right now there's 5.
Okay, all right. Well, we got the Perth card. We got it basically filled out. So we're going to talk about tonight's Monday Night Raw. We also got a couple little bits of news from over the weekend. And for the Collision Cowboys like me, Larson, I got your Collision rundown at the end of the show. I know we didn't talk about this beforehand. I'm springing this on you.
I feel like there's a certain completion percentage you got to have to consider yourself a Collision Cowboy, and 25% on a monthly basis ain't it, pal.
May I ask you then, oh math guru, what percentage would mean that I am a true Collision Cowboy?
I would think 50% minimum. You got to watch 2 of the 4 episodes every month.
All right, let's go. We got, this weekend we got a WWE Premium Live event.
It's in the morning, though. You can watch that, be done, and then later in the evening you can watch Collision. I mean, what's the huge deal, Collision Cowboy?
Whoa, hold on a second. Let's not get crazy. Maybe I'll watch it next Monday morning, and I'll be ready for next Monday's Raw.
Nope. We got Raw next Monday morning.
All these morning shows sticking it to the Collision Cowboy.
Anyway. Gotta make time for it if being a Collision Cowboy is so important to you.
That's my philosophy in life. If something's important, you got to make time for it. I want to point this out also before we get things started here today. I got myself another new YouTube channel. Decided, tired of this wrestling business stuff, I'm starting to talk about other stuff. I have a review up right now for that movie, One Battle After Another. And you can find it. I think like my new YouTube channel over there is like Steve here 916. I think is what it is.
All right.
916.
It should be Steve 916 times, huh?
Oh man, where were you when I was coming up with my YouTube handle? So you can check that out right now. It's just my little hobby channel when I feel like talking about movies, Next Generation, whatever I want to talk. It's just going to end up being
probably gonna be a lot of Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Probably. Anyways, if you're into that stuff, go check it out. But first, let's talk about this. Another wrestler who might be starting a YouTube channel because he ain't going to be in the WWE. Another luchador, in fact, leaving the Federation. What's going on, Larson?
Yeah. Fightful Select reports that Santos Escobar's WWE contract expires at midnight tonight. So if it's midnight Eastern, that's in about 65 minutes from when we're recording this.
Wow.
Adding, quote, the company has made attempts to re-sign him, but he passed on the offers. PW Insider had a little bit more, saying, quote, we were told his contract expires at the end of the day. WWE made overtures to keep Escobar, including a higher contract offer, but he turned down the offer.
Oh, wow. Including a higher. Well, I wonder what higher than he's making now. Is that the insinuation?
I would assume higher contract offer would mean more money, but I guess it'd be the same money, more years. I don't know. It's kind of vague.
I didn't know if it was like higher than the original offer, which is all way lower than he was making.
I mean, that could be, yeah. Like he was, for example, he was on the $300,000 contract. The first offer to resign, 125.
Yeah, right.
No way. All right, 175.
Yeah, 126. How far apart are we now, Santos? Yeah. Bummer that we're gonna miss the Legado del Fantasma theme song.
Oh, such a good theme.
Legado.
So good.
Yeah, that's a good.
Their packaging was great across the board. Like the Tron was great.
The Tron was really
gear.
Cool.
It was always awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Bummer. I liked him in a couple of different roles. Like, obviously as a wrestler, he had some banger ass matches.
Yeah, he did.
And as a personality, I really appreciated him too. It's just, I guess they couldn't find shit enough for him to justify whatever the hell the contract offer was. And to keep him interested because clearly he just wasn't interested. Where, do you see AEW wanting to get a guy like Santos Escobar? I don't know if he's and granted, I will say this, when you're in WWE, it's kind of difficult maybe to suss out, could he be big match guy? Could he be match guy?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what AEW would be going after if
Well,
they
I think
wanted,
there's
right?
that, and I think also people who come over from WWE to AEW have to kind of like buy into what AEW is and what it does.
Yeah.
And if they can come in and bring something to the table creatively, I think I think history has shown us they'll have far more success than maybe someone who didn't
Yeah.
come, to the table with something creatively. I always felt like with Santos, regarding his matches, we kind of just saw like a little bit of what he could do in WWE.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
And I'm not really well versed in his work in AAA. I've seen some of his matches in Lucha Underground. In fact, the first match I think I ever saw in Lucha Underground was him versus Ray Phoenix, I want to say. And that was really good.
So he spent both in time in both the major promotions, CMLL and AAA. So, some people, it's like, oh, he's a CMLL guy. Seemed like maybe, I don't know what he would consider himself necessarily.
Yeah, I just know he was in AAA before he went to WWE because we watched his last match in AAA.
Yeah, we did, yeah. He was in CMLL from 2008 to 2013, so, and then 2013 to 2019.
He's in AAA.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where he goes to next. I think I read today that he's 41, I want to say.
Yeah.
But obviously,
correct.
Phenomenal shape. He's probably got a lot of matches left in him. I'm curious to see what he does next because you're kind of all around. I kind of feel like we just saw a little bit of what he could actually do in WWE.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hopefully he ends up in a cool place that takes full advantage of his talents.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. We also got word now on John Cena's final opponent, and oh boy, this one is a shocker, Larson.
I feel like we should offer up a spoiler alert here. Some people might want to see how this plays out, and I understand that. So you're warned. Maybe I'll wave my hands in front of my face like so when we're done talking about this, so you can mute it. Maybe there'll be time codes in the description. I don't know. And nonetheless, if you don't want to know,
if you don't want to know that it's the Miz, then be sure to whoops. Oops.
Heaven's sakes, man.
Spoiled it. Now they'll be surprised. Because it's not the Miz. That's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. It's not actually the Miz.
Not the Miz. All right, we're going to read the story now. So you've been warned.
You've been warned.
So Dave Meltzer has the latest info on who WWE has chosen to be John Cena's final opponent. He is reporting that Gunther is in line to face Cena on the December 13th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event, which will be John Cena's final match. While adding, quote, 2 sources have confirmed that the latest plan is for a tournament to be announced, possibly on the air by Paul Levesque, with top wrestlers vying to be Cena's last opponent. So Cena's last match is a championship unto itself. That's me saying that, not Meltzer.
Yeah, no.
Meltzer continues, but multiple have confirmed, however, it reaches the conclusion that Gunther was the person chosen for the match. We've kind of speculated that Gunther made a lot of sense. Given that he just retired Goldberg.
Yeah.
He's the person to be that
on a Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, that sends wrestlers off to their retirements.
That's like the door there. It's like Saturday Night's Main Event. When the old timers come in, Gunther shows up Saturday night, sends them on their way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the match will be good.
Yeah, the match will be awesome. Should they do like the entire these Saturday Night's Main Events, they got like a grand total of like 35 minutes of wrestling on them.
Yeah, no, this whole show.
Right. The entire show should be like legitimately, do some dark matches maybe for the crowd, but like, why not do, I don't know about a 2-hour special, but like, yeah, like maybe a 2-hour, because you got an hour and 40 of actual stuff. Like, a shit ton of documentary stuff, interviews,
retrospective video packages, interviews. Yeah,
that sounds boring as fuck. But
if it's done really well, it could be fun.
It would be nice for the crowd. Honestly, like it should just be Cena reacting to a bunch of his matches, or he opens up. How about this? An old school Cena shoot interview where he gives us the real deal on him in the Nexus. Very controversial, of course. And then other things, was he the guy that said Brock needs to win at that shitty Palooza thing? All the questions that we want answered John Cena on the way out the door, because we're never going to see him again. He answers all those questions and
Maybe
he disappears.
he'll do what Undertaker did and just start divulging all of the industry secrets.
That'd be ideal. That's
Ideal. Now, if they're going to have a tournament here, which probably means, 4 triple threat matches and then 2 singles matches. That's how they do tournaments now.
Yeah, I know. It's like a grand total, like 5 matches. Yeah.
So let's book an 8-man field for this.
Okay.
Gunther's in there, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
Who else? We need 7 other names to be in this tournament to be John Cena's prospective last opponent.
Santos Escobar, but it's like an appearance deal, and he's only there to write his character off. He's like, if I can't win this and then beat John Cena, I'll leave this place. Done.
I see you're taking this seriously.
Of course not.
All right. Well, in that vein.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, so from a storyline perspective, would anybody make sense that, like, does anybody have, like, unfinished business with John Cena, or, who should be champion at the bit? Like, Drew McIntyre should be champion at the bit, right?
Absolutely. Dom Mysterio should really want to get in there.
Maybe out of respect and being the guy who wants to put down John Cena, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's fitting. It should be me and him, even though we just had a match not that long ago. It should be me and him.
Yeah. Adam Copeland, Edge. His contract's supposed to be up soon.
So now you're not taking it seriously.
No, I am taking it seriously. His contract apparently is supposed to be up in November.
All right, man. Well, if they wanted, like, if he was going to be in a tournament, he would win the whole thing. That'd be weird.
No, Gunther would beat him in the final because Gunther's the future. Talk about an appearance deal. He's just showing up to do this. And
so you're saying no Copeland Cena. He would show up to try to fight Cena.
Yes.
Wild business. Right after you criticize me.
I think my scenario is far more plausible than your own. But anyways.
I got 2 words for you. Chess man. How about that? Let's bring over some stars from AAA. Oh, no. One of Cena's greatest opponents, Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
What about a rival of his from their training days, Samoa Joe?
Again, contractual issues.
We don't know when his contract expires. It could be tomorrow. We don't know this.
Well, he's got Wrestle Dream, so at like the
appearance
18th?
Appearance deal.
Okay, sorry. From now on, it's just going to be appearance deal. A guy who just Andrade, appearance deal.
Now, we're kind of taking Tanahashi, appearance deal. Okay.
No, I think New Japan would let that happen. They'd be cool with that.
Oh, they kind of got to deal with AEW that might preclude that from happening.
Well, what better way to show they're not a bunch of chumps over there who do whatever Tony Khan wants them to do? Didn't they have, like, at Forbidden Door, which is supposed to be like a co-promotion, they had their champion in the mid-card against a commentator?
Yeah.
They need to change the perception, Larson, that they're not a bunch of
disagree.
chumps over there.
I don't disagree.
I had another name that was actually a good one, but I forget what it is now, so...
Like Punk would probably be like, I want to be Cena's last match, even though they wrestled already. Seth is a good call because they had a good rivalry back in the day.
Yeah, Seth is actually a really good one. Yeah, but then he's wrapped up right now with.
Yeah, he's not losing another match till he loses that title to Cena.
Yeah, right.
Not to Cena, sorry, to Punk. Gosh.
Yeah, Seth to Punk. Yeah, right. I don't know how many. We just threw out a lot of names.
There's like 15 names there, half of which
didn't make any, or 2 of which did make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of which no way would happen because they'd have to be on appearance deals.
What was Gunther's last thing that he did? Goldberg.
No. Oh, he lost the title to Punk.
Oh, that's right. That he quantum leaped out of there.
Yeah, because he had did he have nasal surgery or something like that? That was reporting.
Grande Americano. Let me ask you this. How seriously do you think they're going to take the idea that, hey, it should be people who either have history, like all these people should have like real, legit, solid reasons. They should be made to write essays in advance. You know? Right. Do you think they're going to take this shit seriously, or is it going to be like, oh, hey, Grande Americano, Gunther, fucking, and then two other dorks in one of the Fatal 4-Ways? Because you're probably right. It's going to be 2 Fatal 4-Ways.
Yeah, the Fatal 4-Ways and then the 2 singles matches.
A bunch of like Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Why does Dragon Lee care?
I know. They're really going to telegraph what the finals are going to be.
Or you think it's going to be a big deal?
They should make it a huge deal. People should be chomping at the bit to get an opportunity to be in this tournament, to be the one that was in Cena's last match. They should make it a huge deal, assuming they're even going to do a tournament, which they might not.
It should be Triple H going to each person saying, hey, guess what? I couldn't think of a better person than you, so you're in the tournament. And then he does that to like 7 other people.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I watched the show. You just said that to Randy Orton. I think that very highly of you.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, all right, cool.
Sami Zayn should be in it.
Sammy's a good name. It's a bummer that Kevin Owens ain't going to be available because he'd be a great name.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I wonder if he would have been kind of tabbed for a Cena program had he not gotten the neck injury.
You know what they could do, and I kind of hate this idea, but if you put Miz and Mello in 2 of these, or I'm sorry, in one of the Fatal 4-Ways.
Yeah.
Because Miz has like his obviously history with Cena, and Carmelo might want to be, hey, what a perfect thing to jumpstart my career. And then they find out, oh man, we're in the same one. We already have beef. They take each other out, adds to their story. Because that, oh my God, now you just cost me my chance to go beat up John Cena.
Yep.
So I think that could be cool too if they do the tournament. It could just be Triple H saying, hey, guess what? You all know Gunther's my guy. So, I mean, the bigger question is, and I forget how you answered this before.
Gunther wins.
Really think so?
Yeah.
Cena will insist on that.
Yeah.
If Cena was like, yeah, Brock should win, then Gunther has to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Gunther wins.
You would think so. So, anyways, interesting stuff. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. But before we get to our Raw review, and of course, your own Collision Cowboy recap.
Again, you really can't call yourself a Collision Cowboy unless you're watching 50%.
Provisional Collision Cowboy?
I think their provisional Collision Cowboy will come if you watch 50% of the monthly episodes for 3 months in a row.
That's a lot. That sounds like I am the Collision Cowboy if I watch half the episodes.
No. If you're the Collision Cowboy, you're a completionist. You watch every single one.
Even like I have to go back in the catalog?
Yeah, you have to catch up.
Damn, I just opened my big mouth.
You did.
All right, man. Well, we'll get this settled, but first, we do have a sponsor for the show this week. Let's talk about that.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Circle your calendar. Friday, October 10th is World Mental Health Day, Steve, and BetterHelp is shining a spotlight on the therapists who have listened and helped someone take a step forward. I've spoken about my own mental health journey here on the show, and I can attest that finding the right therapist can change everything. Back when I was going to therapy about 20 years ago, it took me several tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to about the severe anxiety I was dealing with. But once I did, I started to learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety and got my life back on track.
Well, thankfully, it's not 2005 anymore, Larson, because nowadays BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. All you got to do to get started is fill out a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp's 12 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. But if you're not happy with your initial match, you can switch therapists at any time from their tailored recommendations.
This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who've helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
So it was rumored earlier that we were going to get Roman versus Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel.
Made all the sense in the world.
It did. Sadly, they're not doing the stealing shoes thing anymore. But
they still call Bronson the tribal thief. Come on.
Yeah.
Steal some shoes already.
Instead, we've got an Aussie rules street fight or an Australian street fight.
When you say Aussie rules, it makes you think of Australian rules football. Which
I legit
awesome.
thought that when dude said, it's going to be Australian. I was like, oh, Aussie rules football match. That's cool. I don't even know what that would entail, but Aussie rules football is a ton of fun. So
it is. It is a ton of fun.
Yeah. So we're going to have this match. Roman won their last outing.
Yeah, Clash in Paris.
Are they going to give this Bronson Reed guy a win over the Tribal Chief OTC one?
It's Roman, so I'm pessimistic to think that's going to happen, but it would do Bronson potentially a lot of a massive benefit for Bronson if he got that win.
Yeah, no,
and took
absolutely.
Roman's shoes.
Oh, and still do the shoe thing?
Yeah, because if he wins, he's got to take the shoes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pessimistic it'll actually happen because it's Roman. Roman doesn't lose very often.
He does not.
But I'm hopeful that they'll give Bronson the dub here because I think it'd benefit him greatly.
He needs to it's not realistic for him to dominate the match, but this can't be the kind of thing where he gets at some point, Reed's got to win. You know what I mean? I guess you can do some amount of underhanded tactics or, surprise attack or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Regardless, you got to make this guy look like a monster and not, like a fucking cheaty, cheap shot artist. But you gotta make this guy scary. Yeah. And if why else put him in there with Roman other than to make him look good? Because he's going to be around and Roman at some point is not going to be around.
Yeah. The thing about Bronson too is it's like, all right, he's the guy that eat pins in the Vision. Braun doesn't eat a lot of pins. Seth ain't eating a pin till he loses that title to Punk, probably. At least Bronson Reed to be the guy that could eat the pins in these matches.
I would be surprised if the Vision eats a whole lot of pins going forward. I think they're sort of at the point where you gotta, number one, you should probably just put those tag titles on them so they got some gold to show for it. Maybe once Seth wins at Crown Jewel, which is totally going to happen, and he's got that ring, he could be like, all right, guys, it's your turn now. Go get those tag titles. And then they're probably just going to go ahead and do that. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, you don't have them eat pins, either one. But it does, I appreciate that, because you and I had always said, hey, Braun Breaker's kind of the guy. They always talk about him as WrestleMania main eventer for the next 20 years, which given what we see these days with WrestleMania, where it's been Roman Reigns, basically main eventing for, fuck.
Seth and Punk will finally have their blow-off match in WrestleMania in 20 years,
Right. Yeah, maybe, right.
The glacial pace of Triple H's booking at times.
Yeah. But you gotta start really booking these guys protected starting now,
Yeah. All in all, I thought Raw was actually fairly enjoyable. We've been highly critical of WWE's creative of late, but I thought there was some interesting character development. Matches were all pretty good. A breakout performance for Maxine Dupree tonight.
Wow. Yeah, that was fantastic. Hats off to Becky Lynch. She's, of the status that she could easily be, I ain't taking no loss. I don't care what it's. Man, the crowd this did wonders. This was like a star-making performance for Maxine. When you got that crowd chanting, "This is awesome," you're in pretty good territory right there.
Yep.
And I love that they, one of the things that we've talked about is why don't they take more risks? And why are so many people so damn protected? This is a situation where Becky Lynch, she doesn't need, this is perfect. This is perfect to use somebody like Becky Lynch in a way that still keeps her protected. But man, this did a lot for Maxine.
Yep.
Just wonders for her. Yep. And that was really awesome to see.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. It was really awesome. I appreciate the approach they're taking to this Jey Uso storyline. We didn't need a 10-minute promo off between LA Knight, CM Punk, and Jey per se, because it was really long. But I did like that everybody, not just Jimmy, everybody else is like, all right, he's turning into kind of like Wish.com Roman now. He's Roman light.
Yeah.
He's on the path to becoming Roman, perhaps. And everybody's pointing it out in somewhat disparaging terms, as in, I think it was LA Knight that said, I liked it better, in a tag team.
Yeah. You're right. The promo segment, it wasn't really my cup of tea just because I think my problem, I texted you this, they're having LA Knight do the heavy lifting on the promo, and it's just not his wheelhouse. That said, the backstage stuff with Jay, Jimmy, and Roman is just thick and rich with history, and Jay's character work, just like it was during the peak Bloodline years, is just absolutely at its best because this guy, he is gone from sort of wincing in the presence of Roman Reigns. Now he's got Roman's full-throated support, and he's telling Jimmy to go stick it. And man, it's a wonderful evolution of his character. And again, dude, the backstage dynamics, I don't know why it's just the domain of the Bloodline, but they're always so much fun to watch. And it is the kind of thing where it's going to get to the point where, especially if Roman is actually on television on a regular basis, which I don't know if he will be, but the dynamics that we see backstage, when they spill out to the promos in the ring, you're going to get more of those moments like when Jay said back in the day, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says. You're going to have that kind of stuff, but it's going to be different and shifted around. Mm-hmm. Is Roman going to end up regretting hyping up Jay to this level? Because Jay might turn into kind of a monster that Roman doesn't feel equipped to deal with. I mean, if you hype Jay up that much with what he has gone through, that could be some really interesting character stuff.
It could. I during the tag match, there's a couple moments where Jay was kind of reverting back to some of the mannerisms that he would use during the Bloodline stuff. He didn't necessarily do, like the shoulders in, head down stuff. That was reserved when he was getting berated by Roman. But there's a couple other things that's like, that looks really familiar.
Yeah.
There's when he kind of has his head like halfway down, kind of seething. Mm-hmm. He did that during the tag match. He did a ton during the Bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
So we're seeing those little details starting to be interjected in this, and I'm eager to see where they go with it because I think there are potentials there for some interesting stuff.
I agree. That the one thing about, and I am not making any assumptions that we're seeing this now. I think until things get much worse from a business perspective, I don't think you're going to see Triple H veer from what, he has planned. But if things from a business perspective in terms of crowds or whatever do start to get worse, I do think that, number one, I know the guy pays attention to social media.
Oh, yeah.
We know that. As much as he'd love to say or love to think, oh, no, or claim that, I don't listen to I listen to the people, the crowd. I do think that he is much more willing probably to understand the gripes that are out there, if even from a macro sense. Like, okay, maybe he's not going to take fantasy book ideas from Steven Larson, but if the general audience is like, man, this is kind of boring, like, can you spice it up a little bit? He might be more motivated than like Vince ever was. I don't think Vince listened to anybody but his own gut. But I do think that Triple H probably would understand that, there's like a general discontent with the most engaged audience. Let me try to get some pep in this writing here, and try to turn that around. I could see that possibly being the case. I have no idea if the larger conversation that's been going on over the last week or two affected what we saw on Raw tonight. I have no idea. But I do think that in terms of like back in the day when it was Vince, oh man, we know that he ain't listening to anybody but his own, Vince up in his head,
Oh, in the circle of, glad-handed yes men.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He'll listen to Johnny Ace and Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but yeah, it did seem like it was just a more energetic show. Like things were moving more, you know?
The pace was good. I thought all in all, it was a relatively enjoyable show. So let's jump into it. Show opened up with Roman coming to the ring. He's pretty quickly interrupted by Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. I'm not going to go through this verbatim, but it was essentially Heyman comes out and talks up Bronson and made the claim, which is decidedly untrue, that when Bronson beat him up to such an extent that Roman had to be taken out in the stretcher, that's the only time in his career that has happened. We know that's not true because it happened in that one Royal Rumble where the League of Nations laid him out.
Yeah, right.
And he was stretchered out.
Well, maybe like Paul Heyman is thinking, Roman Reigns' career began in 2020 when I became his wise man. We don't want to remember things from before then.
Yeah, I guess not. But I get it. They want to hype up Bronson. So Bronson asked Roman, what would your father and your uncle think about you getting stretchered out after they were never stretchered out? And Roman says, funny thing is, you don't know them, says it to Bronson, but that dumbass next to you did. What do you think my dad would say, Paul? My dad would say, fight him now, so let's do this now. So Bronson's about to get to the ring. Or he wants to make a move to the ring. And Heyman holds him back. And challenges Roman to a match at Crown Jewel Perth, the Australian street fight.
Yeah.
Roman accepts. So he says, hey, Dallas, they walked in like some tough guys, but now they seem to walk out like a couple of bitches. So this brings Bronson to the ring. Roman hits him with a Superman punch over the barricade, clears off the announce table. Security rushes in to break it up. Roman breaks free a couple times. And then they eventually get him separated. And Roman poses in the corner. So later on, Roman's in the back, and he walks up to the Usos. And Jimmy says, do you hear them, Barry, Sika, and Alpha? At Crown Jewel, we. And then Jay just says to Roman, I got you.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy's about to say, I got your back. Yeah. We got your back. And Jay's like, no, I got you. And then Roman says, I'm good. I don't want any help, especially from you, he says to Jay. He says, we talked about this. Hyper-focus on what you're doing. Matter of fact, who's talking to the top of the hour? And Jay goes, CM Punk. And Roman says, not you, huh? So Jay just gets to step in. He leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns to Jimmy and says, I hear and see everything, right? What's the problem with him taking advice from me? And Jim doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Yeah. No, I thought that was all good stuff. The promo is kind of long and winded, but whatever. The backstage stuff is really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then let's talk about the Punk stuff. We're not going to go verbatim for this promo either. We see Punk walking backstage, and as he's walking through the backstage area, we see Rusev yelling at Pierce. More on that later. So Punk makes his way to the ring, and he's just he's so happy to be there, Phil, right now.
He is very happy to be there. Yeah. This whole promo with him and LA Knight was, I get the feeling that these guys like each other. And I get the feeling also that Punk didn't quite realize that his comeback to LA Knight on that one line was going to make things as awkward as they did.
Oh, the never have you ever been world champion line?
Yeah. Because LA Knight had no response for that.
No.
But I do get the feeling that, I just get that feeling. And I'll tell you, part of it is because LA Knight on his mental health kick, which he drops this stuff every once in a while. And I just really, really love it. So
same.
So Punk, he talks up the crowd. And he says, I haven't been here because I was celebrating my wife because we beat Becky and Seth at the Palooza. He says, I started this year beating Seth on Netflix on Raw. I'll end up beating him on Netflix. He said, there's a sign that says, and he points out a sign in the crowd. It's a person. He says, there's a sign that says, I deserve a title shot. No, he says that I deserve a title shot. He says, but no, I earned it. He said, one-on-one, Seth, I've got your number. I'm going to beat him, become the heavyweight champion. He says, CM Punk is better than you, and everybody knows it, by the way. So LA Knight comes out. And he goes right into Punk's face. He says, look in my eyes. What do you see? Punk says, somebody who interrupted me. And Knight says, yeah, catchy tune. But this man in front of you is now a big force. Blew the doors off the place and not gotten what I deserve, what I earned. He said, you said some stuff I agree with. I want to point out some omissions. He says, you are the creator, the owner, the man who is known for the pipe bomb. But you've been known more lately for being a husband. And there was a quick beat where people went, oh, and he was like, no, that's not a knock. He says, everybody out here wants and needs love. Even the most jaded person does, and I commend you for cultivating that. And I'm like, oh, what a nice lesson from LA Knight.
What a nice heartfelt sentiment.
Yeah, he shut down people like mocking that. He's like, no. We all want love in this world.
Yeah.
He continues, though. He says, however, as good of a husband as you are, you're a trash champion.
Yeah.
He said, what did you have? 5 minutes as champ? Then what happened? SummerSlam, Seth pinned you in the middle of the ring. Paris, Seth pinned you in the middle of the ring. You know whose shoulders never, ever got pinned? And then Punk says, probably the same guy who's never, ever been world champion. And the crowd just went, oh.
Yeah.
And Knight just sort of smiled, and then he says, that was a cute line. I may never have been champion, but I've never been pinned by Seth Rollins. You're a two-time loser. I'm a two-time winner. Won by a DQ you caused. I was the last person to pin Seth Rollins, so I'll guarantee I'll be the next World Heavyweight Champion. So that brings out Jey Uso.
Yeet. So he says, I'm going to stop you right here. I'm finally thinking, Oos, my mind is clear. I'm the one who never got my rematch, and I'm the one who's the next World Heavyweight Champion. So LA Knight says, is this deja vu? We were in Paris. It's me and you always knocking on my door and complaining. You had the title. You lost it. Your time came and went. Here's what I tell you. When you think it's your time, nah. It's my time. You didn't lose the title because you aren't Roman enough. You got to carve your own path, but your best shot is those tag titles, though, from last week. You probably going to suck at being a tag team, too. They lost. So Jimmy makes his way out. And Jay super kicks LA Knight. And Punk's like, all right, I think we're cool. I understand your passion, but you need to get behind me. He says, and LA Knight, he does have a point. Focus on being a tag team. I love Jey Uso. I don't like Little Roman. So this upsets Jay. Jimmy tries to keep them separate. And then Punk lays into Jay with the mic. So Jimmy super kicks Punk.
Yeah.
So later on, Jay's venting to Roman backstage.
Because, like, Jimmy is holding them back, and he ends up holding Jay and gives Punk the chance to hit him with the mic. So that gets Jay hot. Backstage, He's venting to Roman, and Jimmy walks up. Jay's yelling at him for coming out and gets mad about, the tag match. He's like, recognize what hill you die on, Oos. And Jimmy says, I'm on your side. And then Jay storms off. And Jimmy tells Roman, he says, I see and hear everything you do too. He says, and I see you're pulling the strings and messing with his mental. And I need you to accept I'm not like you and Jay's nothing like you. Roman stews for a second. He says, I know you aren't hearing me, but listen, when he won that title, he became more like me and less like you. And if you want to help him, sometimes you just need to get out of his way. That's good stuff right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's good writing right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then our main event, we had LA Knight, and CM Punk versus the Usos. Jay not helping his case to be first in line for that World Heavyweight Championship shot, though. Taking the pin here after getting a hit by GTS from Punk. Knight tags himself in to cover him to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seemed like maybe it could have been a bit of an abbreviated match because it didn't start till 7:25 or something like that.
7:25. Yeah, it started late.
It was over by 7:35, so
yeah,
something went long maybe, but decent enough for what it was.
Yeah, it was fine. It got the job done.
It did what it had to do.
Did what it had to do, exactly. Also, it did what it had to do, but a little bit more. Asuka, Io, and Kyrie. That situation continues on. So we had Pierce talking backstage with Asuka. And she's like just laying into him, trying to get a match between Io and Kyrie made. And he's like, all right, let me see if I can get it on the card. Let's see if I can fit it on the card. We'll see. He's like, you guys got Perth coming up next weekend. And you want to do this now? She was like, yeah, I want this now. So he walks off. Kyrie comes up, asks, what's up? Asuka's like, we have to teach her respect. But tonight you face Io Sky. And Kyrie's like, I don't want to fight her. I want her to be part of the family. So Asuka slaps her. Yells at her and says, you better win, and then walks off and then screams for her to follow. Then we had an Io Sky promo, one of these pre-filmed deals with like 5 different cameras roaming around her.
No, it was like literally 5 different cameras. With like one was the broadcast camera. The one that was facing her kind of head on was the broadcast camera, and they had 2 other ones. It was 3 different cameras, 3 completely different cameras.
It was 3 different frame rates we had here.
Yeah.
They had 24, 30, and 60. So she says, this is all pretty boilerplate stuff. She says, what's between us isn't Rhea's fault. It's yours. You broke my heart. I owe everything to you. Me and Kyrie are in WWE because of you. We looked up to you like a big sister. We wanted to be like you, but your jealousy changed everything. She said, you want what's best for you. Real family wouldn't tell me who to be friends with or take credit for what I've done. So we get that match. And the awesome thing about this match, as soon as the bell ring, what does Io do? Suicide dive onto Asuka. She doesn't even bother with Kyrie. But that does allow Kyrie to sort of get, the advantage here. And all the Asuka distractions, whatnot, allow Kyrie to get the win as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was from a pin assist from Asuka because she did like a jackknife pin. And Asuka held her arms and the ref didn't notice. So yeah, Kyrie gets the cheaty win over Io, and then afterwards they do the assisted insane elbow to take out Io, and crowd just chant Rhea, Rhea.
Yeah.
But it was already mentioned by Pierce that she's in Australia doing press, so
Yep.
I appreciate that they at least mentioned that as a reason why she couldn't make the save tonight.
Yeah, totally.
But that was good. This is like one of my favorite storylines right now.
Yeah,
This
it was good stuff, especially that segment early on. I mean, the match was good too, but the segment early on where. Especially when Kyrie comes in and says, "No, I don't want to wrestle her. I want us to be a family again."
The crowd pop when Io suicide dove onto Asuka. I love that. Was good. It was just like that sense of like, why is she bothering with a match with somebody who she knows doesn't want to have a match with her?
Yeah.
Go straight for Asuka. I love that.
Exactly. We mentioned earlier, breakout performance here from Maxine Dupree against Becky Lynch. As she did during their first match, Becky Lynch taking Maxine lightly. Maxine stepped up her game in terms of the offense and the counter wrestling that she exhibited in this match compared to their first match. But the way this match was constructed, everything across the board was all built to maximize the impact of Maxine getting that win, even though by count out. But the win made sense because, again, at the very end, Becky took her lightly. Didn't learn a damn thing over the course of this match where she barely kicked out of the spinning roundhouse kick. Like, there were so many close calls for her. And even at the end, when she had the slightest bit of advantage, she preens to the crowd. Maxine rolls back into the ring, and Becky gets counted out.
Well, the great thing about this is that the story told from the beginning to the end was so well thought out. And I love that kind of shit because several times in this match, Becky is just yelling at the ref. She's getting in her face and Jessica's like, dude, you need to back up and let me do my job. And so the count, when Becky's out of the ring, the ref sees Maxine get in the ring at like 7 and then Jessica says 8. And Becky Lynch turns around. She's on the table. She turns around and Jessica goes 9, 10. And that's it. It was a hella quick last 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. And so Maxine was like, oh shit, I won. Jets out of there. Becky runs in there. So the entire thing made sense. And I love that Maxine was so desperate for this one. She even tried to cheat.
Yeah,
she put her legs up on the rope for one of the last pin attempts, and it didn't work. They both were, in the end, Maxine had to try to use the tactics that Becky was throwing at her. And they don't do that too often with the baby face.
No, they
and
don't.
I love that. If you're going up with somebody, or if you're going up against somebody who's who's breaking the rules, do the same thing. I can't stand the idea that, it's a baby face, so they got to play it good. No, man, if you fight fire with fire,
Yeah. Although there was one point where Becky hit Maxine with the giant Prime bottle from the Prime station. Technically, that should be a DQ.
That's the kind of thing that ref's discretion. She literally tapped her with it. And it's like, it doesn't have any, But Steve,
recall if you will, there was a match between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair where Rhea grabbed the top of the announce table and just kind of yanked it quite gently back into Charlotte's face, DQ.
That was more than gently, though, because I think, who did Rhea do that to Charlotte or Charlotte? Who?
I believe Rhea did it to Charlotte.
Right. And Charlotte sold it. That's the thing. Maxine didn't even sell. Becky goes over, and it's more of a humiliation thing. In the case that the wrestler sells it, and it's like, oh, that actually did something, I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. But this is a little humiliation thing. I don't think
nonetheless, a giant Prime bottle is a foreign object. Can't be used in the course of the match.
It's empty, though. It is empty.
I realized, nonetheless, it's a foreign object. She hit her intentionally with a foreign object.
Oh,
it's
my
DQ.
Goodness. Oh, my God. I would be you would be the worst ref. I'd be like, come on, ref's discretion.
No, I would be the best ref because I'm consistent.
Oh, the worst.
Best ref. So anyways, Maxine gets out of the ring. Becky's upset later on. Becky's laughing backstage. Not like haha funny, but like she's kind of losing it a little bit.
Yeah.
And the whole time, Seth's just looking at the watch that Cody gave him. And so Becky's venting. She's like, I need to reevaluate because if this is how I'm treated, they don't deserve me. And so she leaves and says, I'm not going to Perth. I'm not going to Perth. She leaves. So Seth says to Heyman, Paul, we need to talk. I have to win this Saturday. And Paul's not really hearing him. And he was like, oh, of course you're going to win. And no, Seth's like, I have to win. Eventually he says, what if I don't beat Cody? You're not hearing me. What if I lose? What happens then? And Paul says, if you lose to Cody, you lose the locker room, the faith of Braun and Bronson, and that your vision leads us into the future. Throw everything away we built, including the Netflix era, and become nothing more than a de facto secondary wannabe champion.
Ooh.
Please do yourself a favor and don't lose. So Seth pulls him in a little closer and says, I noticed there was one person you didn't name, and that was yourself. So tell me, what happens if I lose? I asked you a question. I want an answer. And Paul says, if you lose at some point, I have to ask myself why. Why I picked you. I have to ask why I picked you over Roman Reigns. Ooh.
That was good stuff. But Seth is kind of a terrible husband because he never listens to Becky.
No.
And, sometimes they just want you to listen. They just want to vent,
Exactly.
Anyways. Also, we had Lyra Valkyria taking on Roxanne Perez. But first, of course, Lyra's, she's just a gorilla position, warming up, about to go out there. Bailey shows up, and Lyra's so good in these little segments.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, I'm so glad you came here right before I go out there. And because she obviously don't want to put up with this shit. She's like, can I be ringside? And Lyra's like, how are you feeling? And Bailey's like, I'm good. And she's like, what the hell, sure. So they try a handshake, it fails. And then they go out for their match. And it's a really fucking cool match between Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez.
It was really good. It was really good. Raquel starts to interfere. Bailey interferes too. So Raquel takes her out with a giant boot. Lyra then hits a baseball slide on Raquel. And then Roxanne hits the suicide dive into a DDT on Lyra, puts her back in the ring and hits Pop Rocks for the win. And afterwards, Bailey gets in the ring, and at this point, she's seething. So angry. And so she pulls up Lyra and says, we got to go get him. We got to go get him. We got to go do it now. Which they do later on. We see them attacking.
Yeah, yeah.
That actually happens later on here, where we find out that they made some reference to AJ and Dragon Lee maybe wanting to go after the tag titles, even though I'm not sure that's going to happen. So anyways, Jackie's interviewing AJ, asks him about the match with Cena, but then Dom and Judgment Day interrupt pretty quick. They say, what makes you think you're going to beat Cena? That's what Dom says, when you couldn't beat me. Hell, Rusev couldn't beat me. You got nothing. And that's when Finn says, a little birdie told me you and Dragon Lee want to challenge the tag titles. Take it from an old friend. You're making a huge mistake. So AJ says, you're all looking for a fight. There's 3 of you. So we'll go get a third and meet you in the ring tonight. And Finn's like, who is he going to get? And Dom says that. Or Dom says, it doesn't matter. Judgment Day takes care of it. So then later on, AJ and Dragon Lee walk up to Penta. Ask him to be their partner. Do you see that Penta's got a Cricket wireless commercial?
I didn't notice it, no.
Yeah, it played during Raw tonight.
That's awesome.
So he's thinking about it, and then we hear the commotion of Bailey and Lyra attacking Raquel and Roxanne, and then, of course, that gets broken up.
This match was hella fun because they did all 3 guys doing the Penta walk.
Oh, AJ did it so bad.
He did it so poorly.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I don't care, though. An attempt was made, Larson. An attempt was made.
I like this match because Rusev comes down to ringside, and then Penta's looking for a super kick on Dom down on the floor, but Dom moves, and Rusev eats it, and Penta just does this. He shrugs.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, Styles hits JD with the Styles Clash to get the win. This is a fun match, though.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this AJ John Cena match. I think the crowd is gonna be fucking hyped for this match, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any word yet on like what's gonna main event or open or whatever?
I would think it would be Cody and Seth.
Oh yeah, that makes tons of sense. Yeah,
I would think,
even though it is not title versus title.
Yeah, Punk said that. It's like Someone in the back. Be happy I specified that.
Yeah, he just realized what he said. He's like, oh, nope.
Yep. So after the match, AJ grabs a mic and says, "This match a crown jewel between myself and John Cena. We don't need a story. It writes itself. Two men will dance for the last time. I promise he will leave it all in the ring, and it'll kick ass."
He'll kick ass.
And that was Raw.
That was Raw. But now, more importantly, Larson, it's time to talk about the October Prediction Challenge. This weekend.
It begins.
It begins. Crown Jewel Pith. And then a Wrestle Dream on the 18th. Who will be the October predictions? God dang. I've got to remember to put together like the prize package for this one because I've not done that yet. Any ideas?
Hey, can we do like a Halloween Havoc theme something with the dude with the pumpkin?
Fuck yeah, we can. That sounds awesome. That I kind of want to just make into regular merch.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe we can do a variant for the winner that's only exclusive to the winner.
There we go.
That's kind of cool too. So yeah, that's coming up. So get on the predictions challenge. And of course, whoever wins October gets in on, what do we call this thing?
Tournament of Champions.
The tournament, but it's not a real tournament.
Well, it's a particular.
We need a different name.
It's a particular competition that only past champions can participate in.
Yes. What does Jeopardy call? They don't call it Tournament of Champions, do they?
They, in fact, do call it Tournament of Champions.
It is called Tournament of Champions?
Yeah.
Because it's an actual tournament, though.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right.
We can just use the verbiage.
All-Star Game. No, that's stupid.
No, that makes it seem like no one's going to try.
So, a while ago, I got this from Pakistan. I got this bootleg Tribal Chief Championship here. This is going to be on the line now, but you got to win a Predictions Championship. I'm sorry, yeah, Predictions Championship, and then you have to win
Tournament of Champions.
Whatever we're going to call it.
Right now, it's Tournament of Champions. Do we think of something better? We got to promote this.
We got to put our heads together.
I think Tournament of Champions is a perfectly fine name.
It's not a tournament. So, how about we call it not the Tournament of Champions?
Then it sounds like it's open to anybody.
So
Clash of Champions.
Yes! It's so obvious. We didn't think of it. Good job. Well done.
I did. I just did.
I know. I'm saying before now we didn't think of it.
Can I get extra points because I thought of the name?
No.
Can I get a head start?
No.
That belt would look good right there.
I know it's gonna piss
me.
Yeah, I don't care about this one being covered up. No, but the way to enter for October is, of course, go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson, click on the Friendo Club setup, or click join right here, youtube.com/Stephen Larson. Become a channel member. You get access to the same things. You get access to the question threads, the bonus episodes, and of course, the predictions challenge, where you can join in Clash of Champions 2025. So
we should do Clash of Champions 1 like WCW did, just number them.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Every
that
year,
or
at the beginning of every year, for the previous year's champions, you have a Clash of Champions.
I think that's a great idea. So we're going to do all that. And then now, of course, oh man, best part of the week, because it is my weekly, every single week, Collision recap for the Collision.
Confirm you're not going to do one next week. This is the best part of the show because I don't have to do anything.
You don't got to do anything, Lars. Well, you can, it's open to questions from you about this. So they did the thing, where they did the real promos at the beginning. And once again, Eddie
Kingston. They still do that?
Yeah. Once again, Eddie Kingston has a promo because he's got Dralistico. And he's like, they pulled me over here for this thing. Do they still even have the theme song the Saturday? I don't know about that. He does sort of the anti-version. So we had first
Eddie's
up.
He's confirming he doesn't watch the product, is what he's saying.
He's not a Collision cowboy like me.
No. Well, you're not one either because you watch 25% of the monthly episodes, and you got to do much better than that to be a Collision cowboy.
I also need a Collision cowboy lower. It still says raw review right here. What about this one?
Well, whenever you achieve the title of Collision Cowboy, then you've earned yourself the proper lower third. Until
I'm going to get myself a cowboy hat, too, for these Collision Cowboy reviews. All right, so, first up we had the Death Riders, Mox, Garcia, and Claudio versus Jay Lethal, Adam Priest, and Tommy Billington. Hey, would you recognize Adam Priest in a lineup?
Mm-mm.
All right. Who do you think won this match? We're gonna do a guess who won the match. The Death Riders or Jay Lethal, Adam Priest, and Tommy Billington?
With all confidence points, Death Riders came out with the win.
That is correct. Yes. There was some cool shit at the end. Garcia and Mox were doing some like team up tag team moves. So like Garcia had, I think it was probably Priest. No, was it? Who was it? Garcia got the win. I don't know who it was in any event. Garcia had a dude in like a sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys turned over. He's in stomp position. So Mox came and stomped him.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually. So afterwards, Garcia just rips into Daddy Magic and is like, go fuck yourself because when I was with you, I was a loser. And now I'm a winner. So
some truth to that.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, we had Jamie Hayter versus Anna Jay. Who won that match?
I would guess Jamie Hayter won that match.
Very good. Very good. Fun little match. We also had Nick Wayne backstage. He was being told by a trainer that he'd be out for another 6 to 8 weeks. He gets mad and says he's going to go find a real doctor. So maybe it'll be sooner than that. Maybe he's cleared and I don't know. Let's see here. Also, LFI members, Sammy Guevara and Roosh were in action against some dudes named Cha-Cha Charlie and Shane Stetson.
It's good names.
Those are really good names. Yeah.
But LFI got the win there. I have a feeling that this Roosh Sammy Guevara team up ain't gonna last.
They seem to be on the same page now. Like things are going good. There didn't seem to be any hints, yet. But, time will tell. We had, obviously Roosh and Guevara picked up the win there. There was before this match, there was a promo where, you know how Caster has his little plaque thing that he carries around, best wrestler alive?
Yeah.
Well, Caster showed up with all the magazine covers on plaques Bowens showed up with all the magazine covers on plaques that he's been on. And so he was like, so they had a tag team match last week, which I did not see, but they're insistent that they're not going by the Acclaimed. That's their story right now, is that they're being forced in these tag team matches. So next week they got Big Bill and Brian Keith, but they're not, they're like, oh, and so what Lexi is like, oh, the Acclaimed is going to have a match. And they're like, we're not called the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
We're just two guys.
Interesting.
They're eventually going to be the Acclaimed again.
Yeah, Jerry Lynn is just booking them in these tag matches, huh?
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. We had Eddie Kingston versus Dralistico.
Eddie Kingston gets the win.
Very good. Eddie Kingston did get the win there. Spinning back fist, I believe it was. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, then we had Maxim Male Models, MXM, and Johnny, what did he call him? Johnny TV? John Morrison?
Johnny TV, I think,
There you go. They took on...
Collision?
They do. Is that what maybe? I don't know. I wasn't really paying that close to... Johnny TV is just what he calls himself.
Yeah.
So they came out to do this thing where it's like a casting call where they're looking for, on the lookout for talent.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, the Don Callis family of Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Josh Alexander came out and it turned into a match.
All confidence points, Callis family gets the win.
You already used all your confidence points, but
Second
you are
most-
correct. You are
second most
correct.
confidence points.
Don Callis family did, in fact, get the win here. Pretty easy win for them. Then we had, what about this one? We had, what was this? We had Kevin Knight. Oh, no, you'll know this.
Oh, did he wrestle Dax? Kevin Knight wins.
Yes, very. This was actually kind of ridiculous because Kevin Knight hits, you got Willow ringside, you got what's-his-face, Stoke ringside. So, like, there's shenanigans and whatnot. Kevin Knight hits like a frog splash on Dax. Goes for a second one.
The UFO splash.
Yeah, right. And I guess they're just booking this thing like it's devastating.
Yeah.
Because like Stoke gets in his way. It's for fucking ever that Dax has to sell this thing.
Wow.
Finally, I forget how, but Stoke gets out of his way. I think Willow comes, takes him out or something. And then he hits it on Dax and he gets the win with it. But Dax had to lay there for days just acting like that first one got him. But maybe it's a devastating move. I don't know. Anyways. Let's see here. What else do we have? We had a face-to-face with Statlander and Tony Storm. It was very clever. They did a thing where they both like laid down and had kind of like pillow talk in the ring, you know? Mm-hmm. But they just talked about fighting each other. And then they got up and they actually did fight each other. But then the Triangle of Madness broke it up. Tekla and her people broke it up. And then they just talked some shit on the mic. And then Harley Cameron showed up. She went after Tekla, and they sent the Triangle running. And then we had this is the main event. This is the main event. I feel like any number of these other things could have been the main event, but we had Paragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, and Orange Cassidy. I guess because Orange Cassidy's in it.
Versus the Don conglomeration.
Yeah, I guess they are the conglomeration. I'm just looking at these results here on Bleacher Report. Versus the Don Callis family of Lance Archer, Rocky Romero, and Hechicero.
Oh, the Callis family B team? Then I would think Conglomeration got the win.
Yeah, Conglomeration get the win here. Fun enough match. Kyle O'Reilly made Rocky Romero tap out to an armbar for the win there.
Oh, gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, it was sort of like the least interesting thing to happen, but it was the main event. So there you go. What a wonderfully, like, I covered all story beats. Not a story beat lost. That was a very thorough, in-depth Collision review right there.
I'll forget about it tomorrow.
Right. I'm just saying that for the people in the comments who are like, oh, why even bother?
I mean, that was all of what, 10 minutes maybe?
I mean, you're just speaking to my efficiency and making sure that I cover all the story beats. Nothing was left unturned.
All right, very well. You want to answer some questions now?
Yeah, let's answer some questions now.
Mr. Sinister here says, what if ESPN gives WWE an F grade for one of their PLEs? Do you think WWE Triple H will take it personal and the next PLE they'll go all out for an A, or they'll just brush it off? Apparently they weren't happy about the C grade. So if they get an F, they'll probably be pretty pissed off.
Shit's going to be fucking awkward, I tell you what.
You got that right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm really curious about, like, all that. Yeah. All those dynamics. Because, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Miko here says, Triple H have been running WWE since 2017. Which call-up would have been the most successful? There's 5 names here. Adam Cole, baby.
In what year?
2017.
Okay.
John Gargano. Samoa Joe, Nakamura, Bob Roode. Who would have been most successful?
If they got what?
If Triple H had been running creative since 2017, which of those call-ups would have had the most success around the company?
I'm sorry. I thought the call-up would have happened in, I'm like, 2017.
No.
Yeah.
It's Adam Cole. He loved Adam Cole.
I would say it's either Adam Cole or it's Samoa Joe. He hired Samoa Joe twice.
Yeah.
He actually risked his own. I think there's a chance that him hiring back Samoa Joe might have led to 2.0.
Could be.
Because that was such a fucking slap in the face. That literally felt like political maneuvering.
Mm-hmm.
I think he really liked Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe already had some amount of success on main roster. So, yeah, I think I think you're right about Adam. I think Adam Cole would probably be like a 1A, 1B situation. He loved Adam Cole. He
loved Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Alex Foster says, if any other wrestler had a forced face turn like Cena, who would do it and what would their excuse be? A forced face turn. Maybe if Seth beats Cody at Crown Jewel, he won't have that chip on his shoulder anymore.
It'd be just
and all the questions he has about himself will be answered. He can feel like, it's a weight off my shoulders now. I beat Cody. The future of this business doesn't have to run through me now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre. He just got to say, what I'm doing isn't working. Bit of an arsehole. I'm a bit of an arsehole, and it's just not working. Hasn't got me anywhere. So I'm going to be a nice guy. He's going to clean up in the locker room after people. He's going to be nice to people, tipping more. Using social media to boost charities that he's into instead of talking shit. So, yeah.
Creepy Beef Tips asks, when will Punk's character stop being happy to be here? It's going to be a while. Because I don't see that changing up until he wins the title from Seth. And when he wins the title, he's definitely going to be happy to be here for a little bit.
Yeah, if they can... Here's the thing. When he went heel, they were still able to sell a shit ton of merch. He was still a draw.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'd love to see a heel, older CM Punk. I think that'd be a ton of fun.
Me too.
Nate Fuentes, who would you rather have as your world champion? What the hell? He said Sid 97 or Kane of 2001.
You could have stopped after Sid 97 because whoever was second would have lost to Sid 97.
Well, at least give us somebody second that, could potentially, Tupac WCW. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
These AI, people are going crazy with this AI stuff, man.
Yeah.
I never knew that I needed to see Tupac as a member of the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
But I firmly believe now that if WCW got Tupac, bro, Monday Night War would have been a completely different situation.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine if he did a guest spot on the Wolfpack theme song?
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. Right?
It's been amazing.
That'd have been sick.
Yeah.
I've been crazy.
Luis wants us to power rank pizza places, but just name your favorite out of these, because there's a lot here. Are you ready? What's your favorite of these options? Little Caesars, Domino's, Pizza Hut. There's a Reckoning, Papa John's, Costco, Sbarro, California Pizza Kitchen, Chuck E. Cheese, or Round Table.
Well, Chuck E. Cheese is last.
Yeah.
Oh, out of those...
Massive gulf between Chuck E. Cheese and everything else. Chuck E. Cheese is terrible.
If I was in the 1%, it'd be Round Table.
Yeah.
I mean, that's then there's kind of a gulf there. I do like supporting Little Caesars because from what I understand, they have, I don't know, they've done good shit as a company in the past. Plus these days when you order from them, it's just not like a fucking stale ass pizza that's been sitting there for $5. You have to pay a little bit more, but they got the hot and fresh and ready oven. And you just make it on the app, or you order on the app rather than they make it and let you know, hey, it's good to pick up. And it's it's ready to go. It's
innovations in the pizza industry.
Pizza should never be more than $12.
I agree.
It's insane that Round Table or over here Mountain Mike's charges fucking the tiniest little pizza for $35. What? It's just dough, sauce, and cheese.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
So
I agree. If money was no issue, Round Table.
It's Round Table, yeah.
But I might go with Costco. Their pizza's pretty good.
Bang
for the buck. That's pretty good because those pizza slices are pretty good size.
They absolutely are. You always get bang for your buck. I mean, that's sort of their deal. Yeah. And they treat their employees good. I always like knowing that hey, if I'm gonna give my money to somebody,
giant corporation, at least
they're not pieces of shit, overtly pieces of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I don't have a Costco membership. The fuck do I need with, a warehouse full of toilet paper?
I know that's kind of the predicament we're in too, because we don't have one either. But
yeah.
And that's the thing is we'd go there, and unless outside of essentials like paper products, which is really paper towels, toilet paper, outside of that, we don't need a whole pallet full of stuff.
Right, yeah. Yeah. I'm cool buying cereal by the box, not by the fucking, 5 boxes in one pack for $50.
Oh, it depends. If there's a couple cereals, I'd get that much, because I do eat a lot of cereal.
All right, well, there you
go. Nate Cruz asks, what food would have the highest Nielsen ratings in your houses? What food, I guess, essentially is the most popular, most eaten?
I'm trying to think of like us as a family. Bama tears through cereal like crazy.
If it was for the entirety of the family, it'd probably be mac and cheese because my kids eat a lot of it. Even though my wife and I do not eat it at all. Or she might rarely, but I don't eat it at all.
Golly, I don't know if there's like one unifying food for our family. I mean, they love when I make, like, their favorite thing that I make is probably burritos.
That's probably pizza in our house when I make pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is this?
What?
Oh, here we go. Theoretically, Drew says, what character from a book could you take 1v1 and would they be a good professional wrestler? Could you name a character from a book that you beat their ass? Like Huck Finn, I could probably take him.
All right.
I mean, like 12?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd whoop that dude's ass.
I'm trying to think of
A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. I think he's older.
all right.
He wouldn't last a fucking day back then.
No.
Because, like, you know, disease.
Yeah.
Body ain't, you're not vaccinated from that shit that was like from the whenever that is, 1400s.
No.
Whatever it
Life
is.
was pretty rough back in the Dark Ages.
Brother.
Or Middle Ages, for that matter.
Yeah. What other, give me, what's another book? Like, I got the autobiography of Patrick Stewart back then. He's like almost 90. I could fucking one punch him probably.
Yeah, today, but back in his prime?
Oh, hell no. He whooped my ass.
Yeah, like when he was in Excalibur, the movie.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he'd run me through with the sword. Or he'd make me like Remick with the head explodes with the phaser.
Yeah. But with his hands. He'd do it with his bare hands.
But like now.
Yeah, he's hecka old now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking, I assume this is fiction, right? Not necessarily autobiography.
You think we could take dudes from the Bible?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They got to be pretty tough to live back then.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Plus, a lot of them have like supernatural powers. Like Noah built the whole fucking ark, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think that was just like hard work. I don't think that was supernatural powers.
Moses was like a Jedi. Didn't he part water or some shit like that?
Yeah. The Red Sea, yeah.
That's crying, you know, Jesus, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and that dude doesn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Trying to think of other people from books.
Yeah, no, I'm drawing blanks on books. I don't know why. It's not like I've never read a book in my life.
I don't read books.
I mean, it's been a while since I read a book, but.
What about that book that had Lou Reed in it pooping on people?
Oh, gosh.
You think you could take Lou Reed back then?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That I don't know.
But Javier says Costco fired my friend for not showing motivation / working hard enough, and his job was pushing carts. You gotta push more carts, buddy. You know, he probably got a couple warnings too. They were like, "Man, today you pushed like 3 carts."
Yeah.
Where's the rest of the carts?
Over there.
Over there, unpushed.
Unpushed.
Yeah.
I'll think more about books. Finn Gardner here says, pick the 3 best stipulations to have at a 3 stages of hell match, and in which order?
How about this? The first match is the first blood match.
Uh-huh.
And then to cauterize it, it's an inferno match.
Okay.
And the last one is an ambulance. The third match is the first.
Oh, I was going to say another first blood match.
He opened the wound back up.
Yeah.
No, the third one is an ambulance match.
All right.
Because you got the first blood and you already burned.
There's some logic to that. This is what it's going to be for me.
Yeah.
First match is a shark cage match.
Okay, good.
Second match is a steel cage match.
Oh, okay. It's like
the third match, Hell in a Cell.
It's like one of those eggs. It's a Fabergé egg of matches. I like it. That's good.
Exactly.
Anyways, I ain't got nothing else over here.
All right, I can't think of any of their books. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I've read books before.
Yeah, you've read book. I know you've read.
I used to read a lot.
Yeah.
I used to read a lot. I just don't read as much anymore.
And look, and just, P, I just want to let you guys just realize Larson's read a lot of books, and look at him now. He's a fucking mess. Can't remember shit.
No.
Nope. He didn't retain. He didn't just not retain the info from the books. He didn't even remember what the books were.
I remember what books are at this point. What's book? Tell me what book is. Don't know.
Oh, fuck, that hurt. I got a cramp. I got to go. We'll see you guys later.